She turns back around, Llorona is like in her face and her veil is lifted up.
No. Oh, that just came.
And I know, ooh, I got goosebumps there. It's like in her face and... Hi guys, how are you? I'm so excited you came to another video because today I figured we would take hold of a good opportunity. February is not over, and as you know, February, or at least the first half, is the month of love and Valentine's Day. And I didn't really get to do that because I obviously had to celebrate my birthday first. So, I figured we might as well do that this go round. This look is inspired by the spirit and the drive that I wish I would have had to get myself out of these situations. Now that I'm older and more mature and I have learned a lot more, this is the look that says, I don't settle for anybody, not me. We're gonna get started with some e.l.f. hydrating primer because it's winter, and even if it wasn't winter, I'm dry as a crocodile. Remember, as you rub your primer in, think and put your daily affirmations in, like, I am powerful. I once killed a man and nobody ever got me for it. Do you guys ever just feel crazy sometimes? Sometimes I just feel like I get these urges of like craziness and I just wanna like, I don't know, hurt somebody or destroy a building. Arson. Can you imagine committing arson? That would be fun. James Charles fell. Are you okay? James. Oh, James is fine. So I think I'm actually going to line my eyes first. Why did that sound so country? I think I'm gonna line my eyes first. So let's start off with one of my very first dating experiences. I dated a doctor, and I know what you're saying. Wow, Charles, I can't believe you pulled a doctor. Neither could I. But here's the thing. It wasn't all it was cracked up to be, okay? Because old Docky wasn't anything to be raved about. Well, for sake of privacy, we'll call him Dr. P. And why don't we just call him Doctor? Doctor, okay. On paper, he seemed good. We know he's got an established career. You know, he was a nice guy, he said nice things, we had a good chat. Oh, also, mind you, that doctor was 20 years my senior. So I was 22, he was 42. And look, that's not the problem. Oh my gosh, did you guys ever hear the thing about like when your necklace turns around and it has the hook out? That means that somebody's thinking of you. Who's thinking of me? Is it the doctor? Don't think of me. But if it's like somebody who likes me, or like a friend, I like you too. A doctor was 42, he was tall, he was cute, everything that you would think you would want, okay? And the first date that we had, we went on a nature walk, which everybody just hold the train, okay? If you're gonna meet somebody, do not go to a more secluded park where you could be murdered and people wouldn't find you for a very long time. And yes, I took precautions and I was like, had friends call me at a certain time to make sure that I wasn't dead. But honestly, like, somebody could be nice, but still kill you, you know what I mean? Like, that was not a safe idea on my part. I was like, let's go to the park, I love to hike. Okay, well guess what? Nobody really goes to that park to hike, so be safe. I'm surprised I wasn't murdered there. I'm surprised I haven't been murdered there. I've gone there so many times and there has been murders there and yet I'm not dead. Someone's looking out for me. Thanks, Taylor. Thanks, Gaga. And he was super nice and sweet, and then he was like, hey, do you want to like go to my house? And I was like, 22, and I was like, oh my god, like, of course I do. Like, I feel so honored to just be like even asked. I have such low self-esteem that I couldn't even imagine somebody wanting to hang out with me even further. So we went to his house and he was nice, it was good. I even got a kiss at the end of the night, which was exciting for me. I think that was actually like one of the first times that I actually kissed a boy, and I mean, it made sense. It felt right. Kind of a sweet moment, you know. Up until that point, I was struggling a lot with my sexuality, and, you know, being raised Christian and all the things that the Bible said about being a Christian, or what we interpret it to say about being gay and a Christian, and like all that stuff and all the stigma the church had. You know, once I kissed him, it just felt right. Like everything was just like confirmed for me. Like, yes, that is what I like. That is what works for me. And it was good. And I was so glad to, I was floating on a cloud. I went home. I don't think my parents knew that I was on a date. I think I had tried to keep it like as secret as possible. Oh, no! Oh, can I just kind of wipe it off? Well, unbeknownst to me, did I realize what I had signed up for. I don't really remember the second time that I saw him. I do just remember that it was still kind of going okay. I was 22. I had no idea what we were doing, so I didn't make any moves because I was just too nervous. And I think it was like an amalgamation of that and anxiety from kind of like hiding this escapade from my parents. I started to develop an anxiety that just made me like sick to my stomach all the time. And it really kept me from eating because it made me so nervous. Doctor and me were, I don't know, there was something just kind of strange there. And I remember he had this really nice house in the southern part of the city that I live in, and that's where like the rich people live. Well, I remember, I mean, he had just kind of moved there, and you know, there were still like a lot of boxes and things around, but I remember him being like, I asked what was upstairs and he kind of negated the question, and he just kind of never wanted me to go upstairs, and I didn't know why. And here's my theory. I really feel like he was, I don't know, hiding. I don't think that this is really what happened, but it's kind of entertaining for me to think that in a horror movie kind of way, he was keeping people up there, or like keeping records of the people that he had killed up there. And one day, you know, I'm spending the night at his house, and I go upstairs and I'm, you know, looking through photographs of all the boys and people that he's killed, and I'm like, oh my god, like I can't believe I've got to get out of here. And then he appears behind me in the camera shot, and then he's like, so I see you came upstairs. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of the horror movie moment that I had in my head. That didn't happen, thankfully. But really, after the first day that we had seen each other, things went south, and they went south quickly. Like, he never kissed me again, and there was a time that I was like, I really want to spend time with you, and I was at his house, but I was like, but my friend invited me to go out dancing with her to this party, and I don't really want to go, so maybe I'll just go and then come back, or whatever. And he was like, yeah, like, if you don't want to stay there for long, why don't you just go and come back? Well, I eventually started having fun when I went, and I do understand that on my part, here was my plan. If he had still been awake and I texted him and said like, hey, are you awake? I'm actually done at the party. I can still come back over if you want me to. If not, then, you know, I'll just see you tomorrow or whatever. And I'm pretty sure that's like exactly what I texted him. Well, the response I got back was not until the next morning. It was not what I expected it to be at all. Because guess what? His response was, who dis? ? And I was like, it's Charles, LOL. And I don't remember exactly how the rest of that conversation went, but I do know that I ended up apologizing. Oh, no, I do remember kind of how that rest of that whole conversation went, because he was like, you know what? When you texted me, you said that you were just gonna spend, you know, a little bit of time at the party, and then, you know, I waited up for you. And then when it came, you know, pretty late, I realized that you weren't gonna come back, and I decided to go to bed, and then I got your text at 2 in the morning, and that text woke me up. And you know, I don't feel good, okay? I'm sick, and I don't feel good, and that text woke me up when I was trying to get sleep. Okay, looking back at that now, I would have been like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have said, you know, I'll come back later, and maybe I should have just instead sent you a message and been like earlier and say, hey, actually, you know, I decided not to come back, but, you know, I'll see you tomorrow. I understand that it would be disappointing to be waiting up for somebody. But anyway, the conversation ended up with me saying sorry and him being upset, and then I came over to help him do some yard work. I don't know what I was thinking, and I can't remember if this was the time or maybe another day before that where I had tried to talk to him multiple times and just get to know him more on a personal level, but he would just negate my questions and would be like, I thought I already told you that. And I'm like, we've known each other for like 5 days. No, you did not tell me that. And I like to get to know people on a personal level, but with him, that was not the case. I had to try extremely hard. It was like pulling teeth. There came a point, and like, okay, we had gone to like little flower festivals together, and I think I only knew him about a span of maybe 3 weeks. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. There was a time where I was trying to just talk to him, and it really wasn't working out very well. And so I just kind of gave up and decided just to hop on my phone because he wasn't paying attention to me. He was doing his yard work, you know, and instead of just leaving, I just sat there on my phone. And he later basically yelled at me for being on my phone. And he was like, you know, when you're trying to get to know somebody, maybe you shouldn't be spending a whole bunch of time on your phone, okay? That when you're trying to get to know somebody, maybe, you know, you could like try to talk to them and not just be like on your phone the whole time. And I was like, I've tried to talk to you this entire time. It was extremely frustrating. So eventually we had reached this point where we just kind of had this weird younger gay, older gay relationship. And it was like slightly romantic. And when I say slightly, I mean like extremely slightly. And me now would have not stuck around for this. If I already knew it wasn't gonna develop anywhere, the moment I knew, I would have switched it off. Before we went to the flower festival, I had helped him do some yard work. And the yard work that I tried to help him do, he didn't want me to help him. Every time I would try to help him do something, he would either yell at me because I wasn't doing it right, or he would just be like, you know what, no, that's okay, like, I'll do that. Like, he wouldn't trust me to do anything, or anything that I tried to do, he would yell at me for doing it wrong. And this is not a good situation, right? Like, I should have ran out of there the moment that I knew that this wasn't gonna work out. Like, I really just was shy and desperate for attention, and I kept thinking in my mind this was gonna work out, but it wasn't. And while helping him garden that one day, I had become so bored because he wouldn't let me help. I started picking up these pieces of dry grass that had blown over from his neighbor's yard. And I started kind of like braiding them and wrapping them around each other. And then I thought, you know what? I've kind of realized that this could be like a bracelet. And so I started to make a bracelet out of it. And then as I made the bracelet, I started connecting different parts of it and under it. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know what? I bet you I can make a basket. And here's the thing. Thankfully, I'm creative because in situations where I am bored and I need entertainment, my creativity is like, you know what? I got you, girl. Don't worry about it. Get into this, okay? So let's make a basket. And so finally, I had realized that, you know, I've made this basket and I was feeling really super proud of it. And then it kind of hit me. If you are so bored that you start reverting to primal skills like making a basket, and you're supposed to be with a guy who you're like romantically interested in, but the conversation is dead and he's always mad at you. This is not a good situation to be in, okay? This is a lot of red flags saying, hey, problem. So we went to this flower festival. The flowers were pretty and they were all cute and whatever, but I had just kind of realized at this point, this is not the situation to be in. I just want to go home. And here's the thing, I couldn't just go home because we were like an hour and a half away from our hometown. So we had stopped to get a little bit to eat, and I was trying to like hint at like, hey, you know, I'm just kind of like ready to go home. Maybe let's just head back. And he was just kind of stalling and being like, oh, but we're like having a good time. We were not having a good time. Or at least one of us wasn't. You know, this whole time, I'm just waiting to get back, and on the car ride back home, it was so painful because it was like an hour and a half in silence. Do you know how hard it is to sit in a car ride for an hour and a half in silence with some dude who's bored you so much to death that you made a basket? Like, finally, we had got back home, and I could not be more thrilled to be getting away from this man. And so I went back into his house because some of my stuff was still in there, and I was just trying to like grab my stuff and go, and I was like, oh, you know, I'd really love to stay, but like, I just really have to get out of here, and you know, I just have so much to do tomorrow. And he was like, yeah, no, I get it, like, you know, I'll just see you later. And so I started to leave, and yeah, I think I had left to walk out to my car, and then I was like, oh, my basket. Like, I can't leave that basket behind. Like, honestly, as bored as I was, that is a marvel to be had. Like, I need to keep that thing forever. So I went back up to the door, and I was like, hey, oh my gosh, like, I forgot my basket. Like, I really do, like, I gotta get that. Because I was planning on never seeing this man again. So, you know, if anything, I had to have my basket. And I think at this point, he had really realized that things were coming to an end. He was like, okay, well, I'll walk you out to your car. And I was like, okay. And I really had a hard time with just being like, all right, see you later, bye. And he like went in for what I think was a kiss, because he went very close to my face, and I dodged it and went in for a hug, I think. And I was like, okay, well, I'll see you later, like, I'll text you. And he was like, okay. And I closed my door so quickly. At this point, I was like, I don't know what to do to, like, you know, just cut things off. And so I think I just started to like message him less and less, and I really think that was it. I don't think I ever really saw him ever again, which was a great thing for me. I did see him later on like Tinder, I think. I was not about to try to match up with him again. Now, that is only the beginning of my very interesting dating experiences, but that is the time that I actually did go out with a doctor. So just remember, guys, if something doesn't feel right, or if something doesn't seem like it is really working out, nobody's making you stay there, so you don't have to stay there at all. If you have red flags, such as, I'm making baskets instead of talking to this person because they won't talk to me, you need to get out of there. Because that person may be hiding bodies upstairs, and you could be next. I think this could be finished with just a hint of a red lip. So this is kind of the final look that I kind of felt inspired by. Just something kind of like alluring, but also infectious. Here's my imparting advice to you. When you're starting out dating, there's a lot of problems that you're not familiar with, a lot of interesting things that you're not used to navigating around. And especially when you're gay, you deal with a whole other array of problems that other people and the majority of people don't have to go through. And sometimes that's hard to decipher what is working and what's not working. But I can tell you, sometimes some red flags are very plain and simple for everybody. Like this. That's not a good thing. This basket is a good thing in itself. But why the basket was made, not a good thing. Well, hey, thanks for sticking around and listening to my story while I worked on my novice makeup skills. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like to stay updated with my videos. I do upload every Friday. You can also turn on that little bell and it will send my videos your way so you'll never miss them. Who's thinking about me again? Who's thinking about me again? Is it you, doctor? You don't deserve. But if it's that guy that I kind of have a crush on, you can keep thinking about me. You can even ask me out. I'm okay with that. Don't forget, I also have a TikTok that I love making videos on. I do have a podcast called Hold Me I'm Scared, where me and my best friend pick out one fear or something scary and we explore it. All right, I hope you have a good day at school or work or at home, and a good day and a good night. This is how we say goodbye. I'm gonna blow you a kiss and you catch it, and then you're gonna blow in right back, and don't worry, I will catch it every single time. So here we go. Get it, get it, get it, yo. All right, now, blow it back. Go, 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 go. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, I got that one. Oh. Whew. All right, my friends. Bye. I'll see you next Friday. Wait a minute. You thought you were gonna leave without seeing a montage? I don't think so.